I mean, can the winter meetings get any better right now for Major League Baseball? We just got another massive move, this time on the trade market. Garrett Crochet, the #1 pitcher available on the trade market that we know of from the Chicago White Sox, was just traded to the Boston Red Sox in exchange for a major haul of prospects. This is a blockbuster trade. This is Chris Sale 2.0 all over again between the Red Sox and the White Sox. This is one of the more interesting trades that we have seen in a long time because, truthfully, I think it's a good trade from both sides. And of course, I'm going to break it down in full, the Red Sox side, the White Sox side, tell you about all the prospects as well, and why I think this is good for both teams. But of course, before we do get going into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Like 50% of you who watch these videos are not. Just hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss out on the content coming at you. And drop a like if you're pumped for the winter meetings. So not too long ago, earlier this afternoon, Jeff Passan tweeted out that the Red Sox and White Sox are finalizing a trade for Garrett Crochet. A lot of prospects going back, and it was not one of the major prospects in the Red Sox organization, which initially you go, ooh, that's pretty good for the Red Sox to not give up one of those top guys. And for the White Sox, maybe it's a little bit underwhelming. But instead, they ended up getting Kyle Teel, Braden Montgomery, Chase Meidroth, and Wikelman Gonzalez, which I actually think that's a really good haul back for Garrett Crochet. There's a lot of things to talk about here. Let's focus on the Red Sox side first, because I think that's what people are most interested in right now. From the Red Sox side, you are getting a guy who last year showed he is one of the 10 best pitchers in Major League Baseball. He was a starter for really the first time in his entire career. He threw 146 innings, and a lot of those were taken back because the White Sox wanted to keep him on his innings limit. He asked for trades. He didn't really want to be a part of the White Sox future if they weren't going to extend him. He even threatened to not pitch as much if they weren't going to extend him. He didn't want to put those innings on his arm. He was concerned, and rightfully so. I mean, what he did last year in the small sample of being a starter was really, really impressive. Take a look at his baseball savant page here. 4.1 WAR, 6-12 record. We don't care about that. Again, he was on the worst team in baseball, but in 32 starts, 146 innings, he had a 3.58 ERA, 209 strikeouts, and a whip right around one at 1.068. And then you just go down to the numbers. You look at the K rate for Garrett Crochet this past year. 35% K rate, 5.5% walk rate. That is like the best in Major League Baseball. That is one of the most talented pitchers in Major League Baseball. That K to walk ratio is absolutely out of control good. And this is for a guy who literally had not made a start at Major League Baseball up until last year. The White Sox made the decision to make him a starter, and it truthfully was a genius decision. He was a guy, even when he got drafted, that I was concerned about what his future could look like because to me, he profiled at the time more as a relief pitcher. He had some arm injuries in college. He's had some arm injuries at the major league level. He missed the entirety of 2022 due to an injury. But after doing some rehab and coming back strong in 2023, the White Sox made the decision to make him a starter in 2024, and it was the right decision. The thing that really separates Crochet from a lot of other pitchers is not that his breaking ball is the most dominant pitch. His fastball is out of control good. Nobody touches it whatsoever, and he throws 100+ miles an hour. His average four-seamer and sinker last year were sitting around 97, 98 miles an hour. It gets crazy amount of swing and misses. It completely flies through the zone. He had a 31% whiff rate on his fastball last year. That is his best pitch. That is his calling card. Now, that doesn't mean his other pitches aren't good because the sweeper is nasty. The cutter is really good. The changeup is good enough. He really does have 4 legitimate pitches, which is what made him able to make that change from being a reliever to a very, very good starter. When you're throwing 99 miles an hour, when you have a nasty sweeper, when you have a good enough changeup, when you have the command that Garrett Crochet has, because I don't think it can be understated. The guy walked 5% of the batters he faced last year while striking out 35%. You look at his baseball savant numbers, they're out of control. The fastball run value, nobody was touching it. But look at this. K rate, 98th percentile. Walk rate, 87th percentile. That is amongst the elite pitchers in Major League Baseball. And truthfully, if he didn't go on an innings limit, if they didn't take back how many innings he was throwing, because I feel like in the second half of the year, he was really only throwing 3-4 innings a start. If he actually had a full, true, healthy starter season, this was a guy who would have competed, maybe even won the Cy Young in the American League over Tarek Skubal at some point. I realized I said Tarek Skubal's name really weird. I don't know why I said Skubal, but Tarek Skubal's his name. Probably still would have won it, but Garrett Crochet would have been a very, very close second. The dude is an absolute stud. And the biggest thing here, and this is why the White Sox needed to move him now, why you were going to get a crazy haul for him, is that you have 2 full seasons of control over Garrett Crochet. So you get him for all of 2025, all of 2026. He's a free agent in 2027. And him and his agent have been very vocal and upfront about they want to sign an extension before they do anything. So Garrett Crochet gets traded to the Red Sox just like Chris Sale did a few years ago. He's going to sign an extension with the Red Sox. He's going to be their new ace in that rotation. This is an amazing move for a Red Sox team who desperately needs some help in the starting rotation side. They have good pitchers. I like Cutter Crawford. I like Tanner Houck. Like Brian Bayo is also pretty solid. Richard Fitz, if you want to give Garrett Whitlock a shot in the rotation again. Like they have solid arm, but Garrett Crochet is the unequivocal ace in this rotation. He is one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, and he's only 25 years old. He's going to turn 26 in June. Yes, he doesn't have the pedigree of being a starter. He doesn't have that track record. But from what we saw last year, for a guy like Garrett Crochet, it is scary, scary good. So the Red Sox being able to not give up one of the big three prospects, in my opinion, Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer, or of course, Roman Anthony, to get Garrett Crochet is a phenomenal job by them in their front office. That being said, it doesn't mean it's a bad trade for the White Sox. In fact, I actually think they got a ton of value back for Garrett Crochet. I think they really cashed in. This surely had to be the best offer realistically that they could have gotten, and to me, it feels like it's a haul back. The prospects, again, just in case you forgot, Kyle Teel, Braden Montgomery, Chase Meidroth, and Wikelman Gonzalez. Getting us started off with Kyle Teel, he's ranked inside the top 25 prospects in Major League Baseball according to MLB Pipeline. He's a catching prospect. He's going to be at the AAA, even Major League level next year. The one thing that was interesting to me about trading for Kyle Teel, the White Sox have traded for a lot of catchers over the last few years. Edgar Quero actually had a pretty good minor league season last year, and I thought there was a shot he'd be the Major League starter this season, but it looks like they prefer Kyle Teel, and I don't blame them. He is a better prospect. He is a better player, and if you look at what he did last year in his second season in the minor leagues, he was awesome. He got up to AAA, 13 homers, 23 doubles, 78 RBIs, 12 stolen bases, 819 OPS, incredible plate discipline, 386 on base, 288 average. Like, he's just a really good ball player from the University of Virginia. He was one of the best catchers in college. He got taken early in the draft, kind of fell a little bit to the Red Sox all the way down at number 14. He was a guy who people thought could be in the top 10. This is a really good acquisition for the Chicago White Sox. This could be the catcher of the future for the Chicago White Sox, or maybe they try him out in the outfield. I know in college he played a little bit, especially in summer ball in the outfield. Maybe that's an option too, but truthfully, I think this is the catcher of the future for the White Sox. The prospect I'm most excited about for the White Sox in getting is Braden Montgomery, who was the 12th overall pick in the MLB draft last year out of Texas A&M. He was a guy who honestly could have gone 1-1 if it wasn't for an injury late in the season to his knee. But Braden Montgomery is someone who I first found out about when I went to the MLB draft combine back when he was in high school. He was still a two-way player at this time, Braden Montgomery. Now he's just focusing on the outfield, and truthfully, I think he was one of the best players in the draft in terms of just sheer talent last year. If you look at my draft rankings, I was super high on Braden Montgomery. And while he didn't play last year again due to the injury, in college he got to play, had 27 homers, 85 RBIs, and had an 1187 OPS at Texas A&M in the SEC, which is obviously the best conference in college baseball. The dude absolutely mashes. He's a really good athlete. He's a overall phenomenal player. And over on MLB Pipeline, they had him just around the top 50 at number 54 without playing a single game in the minors last year as a guy who fell a little bit in the draft again due to that injury. 54, this is incredible value already right now. You got a top 25 guy, you got a top 50 guy. Now, the other two prospects, Chase Meidroth and Wikelman Gonzalez, are not going to be ranked as highly as the two previously mentioned prospects, but there are things to like about both of these guys. Starting it off with Chase Meidroth, you are getting a scrappy little middle infielder who had a little bit of pop last year in AAA, gets on base a ton, can play second base, shortstop, third base. He can play them all, and he is a major league capable player, which this White Sox team desperately needs. When you look around the infield, there's not a ton of talent. And last year in AAA, 122 games, 7 homers, 20 doubles, 3 triples, 57 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, but this is what you love to see. 105 walks as opposed to 71 strikeouts. He walked almost once a game, had a 439 on base with a 293 average, 838 OPS. He's by no means a needle mover in like where Kyle Teel and Braden Montgomery could be those guys that really push this organization forward. Chase Meidroth is going to be a dude who's free and cheap, who's going to give you great production over the next 4 or 5 seasons of his major league career. And then with Wikelman Gonzalez, you were getting a pitching prospect who throws in the upper 90s, has a pretty good curveball and slider, a nice changeup, 4-pitch mix. Like I said, again, throws in the upper 90s. That's huge. That's always something that you're going to pay money for. You want guys that throw gas. And while his minor league numbers might have not been the greatest last year, like you're seeing a 4.73 ERA and you kind of aren't that excited, he was rocking a 25% K rate. Again, he throws in the upper 90s. I think there's a world where Wikelman Gonzalez is a major league starter, and I think at the absolute worst, you could put him in the bullpen and get this guy to top out near 99, 100. He's not the main piece, but as an extra guy on top of all the prospects that they got, who I think are going to be very, very capable major league players for the White Sox at the worst, and a couple of them could have some real ceiling here, this is a really good move. I loved this from both sides. The Red Sox needed an ace. They're going for it this year. You love to see that, especially in the American League East, which is kind of a little bit up for grabs right now. I don't think the Orioles or Yankees are necessarily guarantees to win it, so the Red Sox are going for it. The Blue Jays are trying to get better. This is a very good thing for baseball and a very good thing for the Red Sox. And then for the White Sox, you actually made a trade where you didn't get fleeced and you got some legitimate players back. I really like what the White Sox did here as well. That's a good prospect haul. That's pretty much it, though. The winter meetings are going crazy. I got a feeling you're going to hear from me a little bit later tonight. It just seems like there's a lot of moves, and there's a lot of things that could be happening. So if anything big goes on, you will definitely see my face again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content I'm dropping for you over these next few days. We got the 12 days of MLB rankings coming up on Saturday, so you're going to want to make sure you see that. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to get in the comment section down below and let me know who you think won the trade, the White Sox or the Red Sox. I'd love to hear what you have to say. That's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all probably later tonight, and if not, tomorrow for another video. Bye.